Okay, so we're going to be trying to use this chart to remember all the confusing memory terms. So you're going to make this 3-column chart, and at the top, the second column is going to be all the retro words, all the words that refer to the word retro. And in the last or third column at the top, it's going to be any words that have antero or pro in it. Okay? And then we're looking for, on the left-hand side in this first column, what are the 2 types of amnesia? We're going to put them here. What are the 2 types of memory? We're going to put them here. And then what are the 2 types of interference? Now, I think this is probably the trickiest one. The way I remember this is I draw 2 circles, right? You can learn things that are, you first learn something and then you learn something after. What are the 2 ways that learning something first or learning something after can actually get in the way? See what you can retrieve without me giving you any kind of clues, okay? Feel free to pause the video if you need more time to retrieve information. I'm going to start by going over the 2 types of amnesia. Okay, before I do, let me give you a hint. Maybe you don't even know the names of the words. So we've got retrograde amnesia versus anterograde amnesia. Okay, those are the types of amnesia. That's how they're called. You'll see it has a grade there at the end. Then we've got retrospective memory. These are the 2 types of memory, and prospective memory. Again, you see the word spective. That sort of makes it unique. And then it's sort of like reflecting, right? These are ways to remember. And then the interference is called retroactive interference and proactive interference because, again, something that you're learning, first or second, acts on the other thing and kind of gets in the way. That's sort of how those have those names. So see what you can recall. That's your first hint. What do you remember about these words? Okay. And now let's start going over the types of amnesia. So retrograde amnesia is where, remember, in amnesia, you've got to have some kind of injury, a virus, an accident that causes memory loss for portion or most of the past. That is, things that happen before the injury. That means anterograde amnesia, right, is when it's after the accident or since the accident. Remember, we're using that as a mnemonic. So injury causes an inability to create new memories ever since you had the injury. In retrospective memory, again, if you just keep thinking retro is old, right, like 70s, then that's when you remember something from your past. And then prospective memory. This one's a little different. It's not the recent, but it's actually going to be the future. So this is when you remember to do something in the future. And a lot of people don't think that that's part of memory, but me remembering to fill out an application that's due next week, that is part of my memory system. Okay, and then finally, the 2 types of interference. We're going to start with retroactive. Again, remember, all of this is old, so that's kind of the way we're trying to remember it. In our class, we try to just think about retro means that the old is forgotten. Pretty much, look what happens in this column. Old is forgotten unless it's a memory and you're remembering it. And so with retroactive interference, the old information is forgotten because the new or the second thing or the recent thing you learned got in the way. All right, that means the opposite is going to be true here. And remember, pro really refers to new or more recent. So here, we're going to forget the new or more recent information because the old gets in the way. Okay, keep practicing this and try to come up with examples because that's a way to show you really know something. So, for example, with this one, you forget the stuff from the beginning of the year in a class because you keep learning more and more things and they get in the way. In this one, I always think the example is when I have to make a new password in the very beginning, I keep forgetting the new password because I am so used to doing the old password. Thanks so much.